So, I want to talk about my nursery. I have an agenda. It's not only a video about plants and gardens, and I really haven't done a walk around in the nursery. I walked around the farm, I walk around the gardens, I walk around a lot of things. Really haven't walked around the nursery. So I thought I might do that for grins. But my agenda on this is things are slowed down here. Everybody's worried about the economy, and so on, and where we're going to do next, and so on. And so I'm not selling that many plants. Business has been slow, and so if there's anybody out there who's watching the show and living here local and might see something on the tables that excites them, maybe come on down and spend a little cash here, okay? So let's take a walk through. Here's the general overview of things. And it goes up the slope over there behind the fruit trees. And we got what I call the attic. It's the upstairs nursery. Ran out of room down here on the ground floor. Whole lot of my stock starts in the 3.5-inch pot. I chose the 3.5 instead of the 4-inch because the same size flat holds 6 packs, what's known as a cell pack. And so that way I can double up with the same flats, 2 different type pots, because I usually start seeds in the little cell packs and then I go up from there, transplanting to the 3.5-inch. Just for you guys who might want to know why I do what I do. Starting off right over here, we have white pineapple plants. We also even have a apple banana cakey right there. Right next to them, I have a few jaboticabas that are from my tree that has borne in 7 years from a seed. Got some Kona coffee. Nice big Kona coffee plants. Right here is a special one. This is the Garcinia humilis, the achacha. It's a New World relative of the mangosteen. I have a lot of them. I'm hot on it, and there aren't a lot of these on the island to the best of my knowledge. I've seen a little fruit for sale in the markets, but not much. This one's a New World mangosteen relative. Instead of 25 years like the regular mangosteen, it only takes about 6, which is pretty quick. It's much easier to grow, does not need shade to be able to develop. They don't die and damp off as easily, and so I don't believe I have lost a single one of these trees. So I highly recommend this plant. It tastes like a regular mangosteen to me. It's a yellow skin and somewhat smaller as opposed to the purple, but mangosteen is, one of the most highly esteemed fruits on earth. It's almost a cult thing. Next to it here we have the non-GMO Solo Papaya, which is a real good papaya choice. It's one of my favorites. Loquats. They're seedling. They came from excellent source trees, though. The ice cream bean, the short stubby one that I grow over here with the very sweet fruits. I've got some seedling macadamia nuts from the Kau variety. Malabar chestnuts, which make nice bonsai plants, nice house plants. They also make a good nut. Next to that is Roselle. That's the fruiting hibiscus that Red Zinger tea comes from. Grumichamas, the Brazilian cherry, awesome fruit, beautiful shrub, delicious fruit, about the closest thing to eating a cherry that I know of here. And then, of course, there's the Suriname cherry here, which doesn't taste too cherry-like to me. It's a ribbed sort of a fruit. They come in both red and black. I actually have a mix here. They're all from very high-quality specimens that have sweet fruit. Not all of these are really sweet. Got a few Rolinias there, very fast-growing Annona, well-adapted. Here we have the classic Hawaiian lilikoi vines with yellow fruits. Soursops, come over here. Many different varieties of orchids and anthuriums. Plus some rare cacao relatives back there, like cupuaçu. And also a little bit of chacruna. Also shading cuttings back there under the lime tree, hibiscus and crotons and such. Here's a few small yellow dragon fruits, mint, poha berry. Most people who live here in Hawaii are familiar with this fruit. It is a native here. These originally came off Mauna Kea, so this is the native Hawaiian poha berry. Otherwise, some places they call this a husk cherry or husk tomato. It is related. It's in the Solanaceae. It's a good thing here. It makes a really good berry. A lot of folks here make sauces and jellies out of it. I personally prefer this dried as a golden raisin. That's my favorite way to eat this fruit. Lemongrass, great for soup, good in shampoo, and great for repelling mosquitoes. There's a little bit of patchouli, a little water spinach here. Dolores, the chive, a new one from Johnny's. Really good selection on chive. I get mixed dragon fruits, Frankie's Red. I've got Golden Dragon over here, and there's also a bit of Desert King left. Here's a real nice strawberry. That's TriStar. That's a day neutral Everbearer. Works really well here. Dwarf Katera coffee. That's the shorty coffee tree that's best here in Mountain View. Dryland Chinese taro. Graptophyllum amethyst plant there, and then some ground orchids here. Nice orange flowers on them. Easy grow orchid. Here's another Graptophyllum, but that's one, the Viamia with the purple in it. Hawaiian koa trees. Ooh, most expensive lumber in the United States. A little bit of thornless agaves and some star fruit. Hibiscus plants in gallon pots. Pink doubles. We've got reds, and there is, I think, some deep pink in there. It's not blooming. Tea plants, regular red dragon fruits here. Bigger koas, nice big koas. Big ice cream beans in the gallon pots. Hawaiian chili pepper in gallon pots. These here, it's this Beccaria. It's a Southeast Asian fruit. I'm not all that familiar with it. There isn't a lot of it growing here. This seed came over from Honolulu. Here we have bigger achachas. Very nice, large Rollinias. Very good, large Rollinias. Rollinia is a nona. It's from the Amazon. It's a great big yellow fruit with little protuberances that turn black when ripe. Inside is whitish, has brown seeds. It's similar to a Chirimoya, but not as excellent. But it's so easy to grow, and it's self-fertile. Costa Rican dragon fruits, purple-fleshed, USDA selections, one apple banana. Orange dragon fruits, nice big plants. Pigeon peas, large Kona coffees, very big, nice stuff. Ready to flower here in gallon pots. Yeah. Garcinia dulcis. It's a yellow mangosteen relative. They call it dulcis. I find it kind of tart personally. This over here is a form of grape that I have no name for. I gathered it in Hilo at about 100 feet above sea level, and it grows up here also at about 1,600 feet. So this is actually a grape that fruits in Hawaii. Here we have big soursop trees, arums, larger papayas, larger pohas, cacao. I have both gold pod varieties here and the red pod varieties. I don't have names on them, I'm sorry. I know people are always asking me, what's the variety? I don't know. They're yellow and red. Amethyst plants. Beautiful thornless blackberries here. These are Natchez from Unisville, Arkansas breeding program. They're fruiting in the pots. Vanilla orchids, that's a winner here. That's an easy grow. Not necessarily so easy to produce because you have to hand pollinate them, but boy, they're easy to grow around here. Mountain apples, lilikoi, brigmansias, sweet potato plants right here, abiu plants, more coffee, blueberries, avocados for grafting, seedling avocados if you're going to make your avocado plants, basil plants, rambutan plants, purple sweet potatoes, the local kabocha pumpkin. That's our local squash. This one's resistant to the moths that destroy squash here. Upstairs in the attic, Right here, some rare guavas. I don't know how many of these are actually on the island other than the ones I've got. Joe Hewitt sent this seed in here to me. It's from Brazil. It's called Campomenesia guzmanifolia. What a tongue twister, huh? It's an unusual guava form. Oh, got a whole batch over here of jaboticabas that came in from Florida. They're 80% seedless form. So this is a relatively seedless jaboticaba. Kind of interesting. And I got a couple of fruiting eugenias here that I am not very familiar with. One of them is the Ligustrifolium, the other one I believe is Speciosa, but they're fruiting relatives of the mountain apple. Right here's another jaboticaba called Inflata that's a great big yellow fruit. Never tried that, so I can't tell you too much about it, except it's the biggest jaboticaba I have ever seen. And there's some Clinia pithrantha over here. That's a regular type jaboticaba. This group of stuff over here is Clinia edulis. This is the peach jaboticaba. It's kind of apricot-like thing. It's got a large yellow fruit with yellow pulp. More a different type of the Bucarias. This is the pyramidalis, I think. These are a breadfruit relative, Moran. I think Artocarpus odorantissima. I've never eaten it. Joe got me the seeds, and Joe claims it's really good to eat. So does his friend Axel. I've not had it. More larger achachas. We got some rather unusual cacao relatives over here that I don't know too much about. Again, blame Joe. He sends this stuff in from South America and from Asia. Over here is a collection of all sorts of different types of Clinia or jaboticaba. We've got the roseas, we've got escale, just a whole group. I think I've got 12 different forms of jaboticaba here. Here we have allspice, looking pretty good. Plumaria cuttings. More Suriname cherries. One Annona spinosa. It's the only seed that came up from Brazil. I have a terrible problem with shipped Annona seed. It doesn't do well. These guys here are another Artocarpus. Let's see, what have I got here? Integer. This is Artocarpus integer. Again, don't know too much about it, but it seems to be growing fairly well. Well, it's starting to get wet. My camera's getting rained on. I don't care much whether I get wet, but the camera doesn't like it. This here was my last built nursery table, where I actually used regular galvanized steel fence posts, drove 4 of them in at each corner, and then used an old 12-foot farm gate panel that had been damaged by a tree falling on it. And you know, I'm really happy with this design. Ordinarily, I use concrete blocks with chain link fence post pipes on it with steel mesh tops. It's a pretty expensive way to build them. This, of course, was pretty much recycle. I got about $40 worth of fence posts tied up in it. That's it. And it's a nice big table. It's 12 foot long. The thing I like about it is, one, we had a 6.9 earthquake here, and that table rocked like suspension because of the way it was made. Never knocked a plant over. The concrete block tables, I had a few plants dance. The other thing cool about it, the zinc plated fence posts seem to be very repellent to slugs. Not a single slug has climbed those legs and gotten on that table. They climb the concrete ones all the time. So the equipment's getting all wet. Bill's rainproof, but not the camera and the tripod. So I'm gonna punch it in. There's more out here yet. We haven't covered it all. So, but the rain's gonna put an end to this particular video early. So if you saw anything out there that you found interesting, you might want to get a hold of me. You know, I'm mostly intending this stuff is for local sales here on the island, and sometimes you'll see me on Craigslist trying to push it. And so if you're local, hey, drop in. Signs on the end of the driveway all the time. If the gate's open, I'm around. Otherwise, if you're off island, I am considering, along with the seeds that I list, actually listing plants and shipping them. I do that on a wholesale level, but that's when we're dealing with $500 or $1,000 worth of material, because it's kind of a pain. We have to take them to the inspectors and let them look them all over, and they unpack all the boxes, and I got to throw everything back in and try to get it, over to the airport afterwards and that. And they have rejected me before when they found problems, and so it's kind of it's a pain. I can't just go to the post office like with the seeds, drop it in the box, and say goodbye. But I am toying with the possibility of opening up plants to the mainland at a retail level. But I am going to have to put a limit on it, say at least $100 order, to be able to bother to do the 40-mile round trip to Hilo and so on for inspections. I haven't done it yet, but I might. You all can contact me out there and let me know if you thought what was on these tables was exciting enough. You got to have it. Maybe I can be convinced to do it. Aloha. Have a wonderful day.